The Elimination Chamber was WWE's 7th event in Saudi Arabia as a part of their 10-year deal. Nearly all the top titles were up for grabs at the event, with 2 of the matches taking place inside the devilish structure. With Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and more all a part of the show and rumors of a debut, there was quite a lot of excitement going into this. This is Wrestling Up, and here's what happened at Elimination Chamber. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. The show started early with the kickoff show as Rey Mysterio faced off against The Miz. The Miz was not quite happy with Rey being the face of the WWE 2K22 video game. As a result, the two were left in a match while Dominic tried to assist Rey from ringside. Miz had the advantage early on, but Dominic's presence came into play as well, helping Rey to get his own back. Miz came back with a big boot to Rey and tried to keep control. It would not last. The Miz hit Rey with the it kicks, taking Rey down, but Mysterio reversed the final kick to hit him with an elbow. He then sent Miz back multiple times before sending him into the ring post with a Hurricane Rana. Mysterio hit Miz with the seated senton and it looked like he was in trouble again. However, a DDT set things back in his favor. Rey got caught in position for the skull-crushing finale, but he reversed it and hit the 619. He went to the top rope for the splash, but Miz rolled out of the ring instead and brought in a steel chair. Before he could use it, Rey launched himself out of the ring and took him out. Dominic stole the chair from him, but the referee, thinking that Dominic had interfered and hit the Miz with it, threw him away from ringside. Miz tried to take advantage with the skull-crushing finale, but still Miz was the one in trouble. Rey rolled him up and won the match as Rey Mysterio defeated The Miz. Miz attacked Rey after the bout, but Dominic came back and took him out. Miz got a double 619 for his troubles, followed by the frog splash from Dominic first and then Rey. Goldberg returned to WWE to challenge Roman Reigns in a match that had been supposed to take place 2 years ago at WrestleMania. However, the onset of the global pandemic had seen Reigns take a step back from wrestling for a while. Now that he's back and has been ruling the roost for most of the last 1.5 years, the time was right for the match and Goldberg's challenge could not have taken place at a better time. Goldberg took a headbutt from Reigns and backed off after starting the match hard and fast. Reigns tried to take control outside, but Goldberg sent him into the barricade instead. They moved back into the ring where Goldberg suddenly hits Reigns with a spear out of nowhere. It looked like it was done as Goldberg went for the jackhammer, but Roman hit him with the Uranagi. He then lined up Goldberg and hit him with the Superman punch and started to mock his opponent. He lined up for the spear, but Goldberg came back to life with the spear instead. Goldberg was looking to get the win after that, but it didn't last. Roman put his anaconda-like arm around the throat of Goldberg and locked in the guillotine. That was it. Goldberg lost consciousness and Reigns retained in the least surprising result of all time. Roman Reigns defeats Goldberg. Liv Morgan and Nikki started off the match despite the fact that Alexa Bliss came out last. Nikki had the advantage early as she was vicious with Liv, knocking her down before mocking Rhea. Liv took her down after that, but Nikki took back control by sending Liv into the side of the chamber. Nikki knocked Liv down and waited for the next chamber entrant. As it turned out to be Doudrop. Nikki wanted to work together with Doudrop, but the new entrant didn't think the same, attacking her immediately. Doudrop then attacked Liv, but Nikki took advantage of her distraction and hit her with a dive. Rhea was out next and attacked Nikki immediately. She took out Doudrop while Nikki climbed the chamber wall to get away from her. Rhea climbed up with her and threw her down to the chamber floor. She then hit her with the Riptide and that was it. Rhea Ripley eliminates Nikki ASH. Rhea enjoyed the elimination, but didn't have long to celebrate as she was then joined by Alexa Bliss. Bliss took out everyone in the ring and hit the insult to injury on Morgan to underline her impact. Doudrop and Liv started to do battle and Liv put an underline on her efforts. She took out Doudrop and stacked her up in a surprise pin for the win as Liv Morgan eliminates Doudrop. Bianca Belair came in next and then did a one-hand press on Liv Morgan. She then planted Bliss and did a moonsault to the back of Bliss. She faced off against Rhea Ripley next. Belair and Rhea battled before they were moved aside. Alexa took out Liv and then hit her with the Twisted Bliss. That was it. Alexa Bliss eliminates Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley took out Bliss and Belair attacked her from behind. She hit the KOD on Rhea out of nowhere and eliminated her. Bianca Belair eliminates Rhea Ripley. Alexa Bliss wasted no time in trying to get a cover on Bianca, but Belair was able to kick out of the quick pin. Belair brought Bliss down and went to the top rope. She tried the 450, but Bliss moved out of the way. Bianca tried the delayed suplex, but Bliss got out of it and tried the DDT. This time Bianca got out of it with the handspring. She hit the moonsault, but Bliss got her knees up. Bliss and Belair continued to fight with Bliss trying quick pins. Bliss was about to go for Sister Abigail but hesitated. Belair hit her with the KOD. That was it. Bianca Belair eliminated Alexa Bliss and won the Women's Elimination Chamber match. She will now get a shot at the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania 38. Ronda got her hand tied behind her back, but Sonya then took out her hand from the sling, revealing that she had been pretending and that her hand was fine. She took down Sonya with one arm and kicked her twice to the temple. Sonya and Naomi did battle next, and Sonya was looking better. She went for the clothesline, but Naomi ducked. She then took Deville to the corner and tagged in Rousey. Ronda came in and went to work on Sonya. She hit her with the judo flip and was going to go for an armbar, but instead Charlotte came out of nowhere to hit her with the big boot. Rousey was taken to the corner with Charlotte and Sonya taking turns to tag in and out while continuing to beat her down. Charlotte chopped Rousey and then put on a hammerlock, taking her down before hitting her with elbows to the neck and the kicks to the free arm of Ronda. Charlotte maintained the advantage of her team with a kick of destruction. She took out Naomi on the opposing corner and then went back to focus on Ronda. She fought back and tried to get out of there. Ronda was almost able to get Naomi, but Charlotte brought her back to her corner with the rope. She continued the relentless attack on her. Naomi finally tagged in and then started to dominate. She took out Deville and then hit Charlotte with the second rope springboard kick. She dove out on Charlotte on the outside, taking her out, and then continued by following her back in the ring. She went for the splash, but Charlotte avoided. Charlotte stacked on Naomi with the flare bomb. Rousey kicked Charlotte out, but Sonya took out Ronda. Deville hit Naomi with the running knee for a near fall. Ronda came in next and then hit Deville with several hard strikes. She didn't wait around before hitting Sonya with the armbar. That was it for the night, as Deville had to tap out to the move as Ronda Rousey and Naomi defeated Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. Drew McIntyre and Madcap faced off with Moss in early trouble. Before the match could even start properly, Happy ran in and they attacked him together. McIntyre was left, fighting off both of them. The match spilled to the outside. A boot from McIntyre saw Happy taken out, but then he attacked Moss and was about to throw him off the stage at the top of the ramp, but Happy attacked him. They hit him with a double team suplex. Drew was able to kick out and looked to continue in that vein. He started throwing around Moss in the ring and hit the reverse Alabama slam on the top of his head. Moss was spiked there and he looked like he was hurt. Corbin pulled Moss out of the ring, but McIntyre hit him with the suplex. He then went for the suplex over the announce table. Drew was able to send Moss through the barricade, but Drew was ambushed by Corbin. Corbin and Moss put him through the barricade instead for a near fall. McIntyre hit Moss with the superplex. He then hit the Future Shock DDT. He followed it with the swing of the sword at Corbin, who ran away. Drew then, with the sword in his hand, counted it down and hit the Claymore on Madcap Moss. McIntyre was no longer messing around and covered Moss with one shoe in the chest, leading to the win as Drew McIntyre defeats Madcap Moss. The win was a big one, but the use of the sword made it just that bit different. Backstage, Miz hinted that he would call someone to even the odds between him and the Mysterio family. There was speculation that it could either be Cody Rhodes or it could be Logan Paul, given the connection seen between the two previously. Lita hit Becky Lynch with a slap across the face, and there was no respect in the match. The two of them were clearly having a match with nothing held back. Becky beat her opponent down, and despite facing a Hall of Famer, she didn't look out of place. She put the rope across the throat of Lita and pressed down with the Legend in trouble. A leg drop from Becky saw Lita in more trouble. Lita and Becky continued to fight, and Lynch was the one with the upper hand throughout. She hit Lita with the Beck Splitter suplex. Lita could not really get up, and after returning to the ring so many years after her retirement, it looked like she was in trouble at being able to keep up with the younger star. Just as the doubt was setting in, she hit Lynch with the DDT and they exchanged shots in the middle of the ring. Lita took Becky down by multiple clotheslines and then hit her with the flying dive in the corner before being driven down. She went to the top rope and hit a crossbody lateral press for a near fall. Lita surprised everyone by fighting back and actually gained a measure of control in the match again. Becky fought back, but Lita brought her down with the handstand and then hit the twist of fate for a near fall. That was a huge move, and she went to the top rope again. She was dragged down by Becky and then put in the disarmer. Lita was trapped in the middle of the ring. She tried to pull herself to the rope and did so. Becky hit her with the manhandle slam instead, but Lita put her leg on the bottom rope. Lita hit the twist of fate and then hit the moonsault from the top rope, and it looked like it was over once and for all, but Becky still managed to kick out. Becky took advantage of the frustrated Lita to hit her with another manhandle slam. Despite her best tries, Lita was not able to do it. Becky Lynch defeated Lita. Lita got a standing ovation at the end of her match. Before the match could even start, the Usos attacked the Viking Raiders and started to beat them down. They took out Ivar and then went to hit Ivar with the double suplex. They not only connected with the move but dropped him on Eric, incapacitating them both. The two of them were in no condition to compete anymore. As a result, by forfeit, the Usos will be retaining their titles. Austin Theory and Seth Rollins started the match. The two were familiar with each other, although WWE did not acknowledge it. The first time Theory had been brought up to the main roster, he was put alongside Seth at the time as a part of his faction with Buddy Murphy. He was later called down to NXT again. Theory hit Rollins with a fallaway slam and appeared to be causing his old mentor all sorts of trouble. He hit the fisherman suplex on Seth as the match continued. Rollins hit a super kick to the knee and then a super kick to the face to bring Theory down and control him. Rollins used the chains to tie up Theory and hang him from the outside as he proceeded to beat him up. He then hit Theory with a huge buckle bomb into the glass, hitting the pot of Lashley. The glass collapsed into Lashley and he was taken out. He was left unconscious but released if he could wake up in time to take part in the match. Riddle came in next and he hit Seth with a senton. He then hit another senton on Theory as the match continued. Meanwhile, Lashley was being attended to by WWE personnel. Riddle dropped Rollins from the top rope and it was clear that he was in control. It didn't last as Rollins then hit a reverse superplex from the top rope. Rollins and Riddle continued to fight, but Lashley had to be escorted out of the chamber as he was in trouble. AJ Styles came in next and he attacked Riddle and Rollins. Styles tried to take out Riddle in a near fall. Styles beat up Riddle continuously. The two have been having issues in the past and are quite familiar with one another. AJ Styles and Seth Rollins both beat Riddle down. They went for a double reverse slam from the top rope, but Theory took them both out with a double powerbomb. Riddle came out of nowhere to attack his benefactor Theory with a floating bro. It was almost it, but Theory kicked out. Riddle hit the double rope DDT, all around paying homage to Randy Orton, who was not a part of the match. Lashley was supposed to enter the match next, but he was not there. The other stars attacked Riddle. Brock Lesnar broke out of his cell and brought himself into the match immediately. He hit Seth with an F5 and that was it. Lesnar eliminated Seth Rollins immediately. He was done, and then hit Riddle with the F5 as well, taking him out. Brock Lesnar continued the domination as he attacked AJ Styles and beat him down. Styles tried to fight back, but Lesnar was not having it. He then hit him with the F5 and that was it. Brock then started to chase Theory all around the ring. Theory ran around the chamber trying to escape. Theory went and hid inside a cage, and Lesnar hit the cell glass and broke it open. He suplexed Theory out of the pod. It was looking like Theory was done, but he fought back and hit the low blow. He had a dive on Brock and tried to pin him, but Brock was not having it. He kicked out of the move and then started to chase Theory. Theory ran to the cell side and started to climb up the chain. He climbed to the absolute top of the cell, but could not rest as he looked back to see a crazed Lesnar chasing after him. Lesnar caught Theory and the two of them dragged each other to the top of the pod. Lesnar there from the top of the pod hit the biggest F5 ever of his life to the cell floor, and not even the ring on Theory. That was it, and Theory was pinned. Brock Lesnar wins the Elimination Chamber match and becomes the WWE Champion. And this was a recap of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.